Hi there, welcome to my first tutorial, my first online tutorial. And this is for anyone who has purchased one of my flower kits. And you can watch this video via the link from my website, which is www.escapetextileart.com. And you can purchase one of my kits from there and follow this tutorial and see how they're made. So when your kit comes and when your kit arrives, they're all beautifully boxed. And there's all different colours that you can choose from, and there's just a little information leaflet here that just tells you what should be in your kit and any extras that you will need to help you make your flower. Okay, and you've also got your bat. So these are bats that I make, and they're rolled, and that one is these flower kits are 20 by 25 centimeters, so you've got quite a good piece to work from. There's layers and layers of merino wool, silk fibers, there's even some shredded sari silk in there. There's all different things. In fact, you will be surprised when you unroll your bat to see what you will find. Not only that, I've been really kind because not everybody can needle felt, not everybody knows how to make a felted button. So here we are. So inside your pack you'll get a beautiful felted button, and I've made the colours just to sort of coincide with whatever colour that you choose. There's a brooch pin in there, and there's some thread in there also, so it's the right colour, you know, that you can sew, and it will look quite nice with what you're making. So it all ties in quite nicely together. Now you can't do any wet felting without some bubble wrap. I've even supplied you with that, and I've even given you your template. And this is basically a CD size, and your kit, you can make probably about 2 flowers. So these are your flowers. This is what I made earlier. So there's 2 layers, so you can make times 2 of these, or you can make a big one. These are the bigger ones, and there are lots of other things that you can make with these kits as well as flowers, but let's just do flowers. Okay, so what you first of all need to do is put a towel, just use an old towel, down on your table desk, and this is just to absorb your water, and it also helps to felt your flower as well. You will also need a everybody's different, everybody uses lots of different things. I've got, this is probably too big for what I do. I use this for my felting my paintings, but you can buy small sprays, and you can even just use an old plastic cola bottle and put some holes in the top. You just need really hot soapy water. For the soap, I mean, I use this one here. This is the Audiio olive oil soap. It's really natural and it doesn't dull your fabric. So when you're working with fibers, if you use, I mean, you can use squeezy liquid, and if you're just starting out and you don't want to go to the expense of buying everything, yes, squeezy liquid's fine. But if you really want to get into it, if you want to make your flowers to sell, you really want to enhance the colours and keep those colours in your felt. So merino wool comes in beautiful dyes, and you really don't want to spoil them. So I use this all natural, and it's also really nice when you're kind to your hands. And a pair of scissors, here we go, and obviously your bubble wrap. And it's quite easy to start with. So you lay your bubble wrap. Now what you want to make sure is you want to make sure that the bubbles are on the inside, because what you're going to do is because these are little pockets of air, when you work with friction, you're actually warming these up, and it just helps to agitate and bond all those fibers together. So when you get your roll, this one here is a smaller piece because I'm just using offcuts from ones I've already used, but you roll it, you place it down on your table, and you roll it out, okay? And it comes in different thicknesses and different, there's lots and lots of different things in here. So this is it close up there, all rolled out. You can see lots of beautiful colors in there. And what I tend to do is, and especially for when you're a beginner, is I put my hand flat onto my bat, and just with the palm here of my hand, I just hold it. So I'm holding it like that, and I'm just pulling a very small amount. You want to keep your work really wispy and really light. Think light, because if you start having big thick clumps like this, you'll end up with a very uneven, clumpy, not a very nice looking flower. So you want to, and it is patience and practice, but you want to just have all your ends all wispy and pulling apart so easily like that. And what you want to do is you want to lay your fiber down from the outside of your circle. So once you're ready and you're happy with that, you then spray. Now make sure you put any fibres that you have left to the side, because you don't want to get those all wet. And with my hot soapy water, I'm going to wet my flower, and I'm going to saturate it. I'm going to put quite a lot on there. Okay, and then with your top piece of bubble wrap, you place that on the top, press it down, and be gentle with it just to begin with. And then what I tend to do is I spray my hands, spray the top and some of the soap, my hands, and that will just give me some leeway of just starting the agitation process. Okay, so once you've done all your agitation on each side, you then want to peel back the top layer. And to do this, you need to be very gentle and very careful. And what I do is I use my hands, use my fingers to hold back all those wispy fibres, and I gently peel back that top layer. Just like that. Okay, just take your time when you're doing that. And then I want to get more soap, and I'm then going to start agitating with my hands. I've got some nice soapy hands, and I'm just going to use my fingertips and even the flat part of my hand and just rub. Just give that agitation. I'm going to try and get this to felt even more, get those fibres really bonding. So I'm going to do that for another 2 minutes, and then what I will do is I will turn it round and repeat it again on the other side. So I've done that for 2 minutes on each side, and then what I will then do is I will pinch the very centre, and I'm going to prise this away totally from my bubble wrap so it looks like that. And this is when it might be handy to have a tub. So I've got a tub here, and I'm going to just peel away any excess water into the tub like so. Okay, and you have a pod, kind of like a pod shape, looks like one petal. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to give this a little trim, and I like to just shape it so it looks like a petal shape. So I'm just going to trim this all the way around and curve the ends. It doesn't have to be perfect, it won't be anyway when you've, it just takes wispy bits. I just sometimes feel with all these tiny little wispy pieces, sometimes they get really coiled around each other and it's difficult to prise apart. And then what you want to do is make sure that you've got really nice wet soapy hands, again using your soap, and you want to place this in the palm of your hand and you want to roll it. And I roll it for about 20-30 times. And once I've done that, I gently want to pull this apart. Okay, and you need to be really gentle. And it goes, see, it's already forming a shape. Okay, again, turn it inside out, get that shape back out, and get your pod shape. So it now looks like that. And again, roll. After you've rolled it for a wee while, I then use the towel to help with the agitation, and this is going to really bond it and really make it felt. Make sure it's wet, it's soapy, and you're using the fibres on the towel to agitate it even more. You keep doing this until you are happy with how thick and robust and dense that you want this flower to be. And the more you do it, the more shape it's going to get. Again, just roll it. It's getting quite thick now. I can see it's felting quite well. Keep rolling. And then when you're happy with how thick you want it to be, you then want to cut it and make your petals. So what I do is I put it in half, and that's how it looks. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slit down here, not right to the middle. Okay, so I'm going to slit that with my scissors so it then looks like that. And when you fold that out, you've got the start of your petal. It's kind of like that. Okay, when you're happy with that, you then want to make 4 petals. You do another slit, not right to the end, so you've got that. And then at this stage you want to wet it even more. If your water starts to get a bit cold, make sure you go and top it up again and keep it warm. And then what I then do is I start throwing it. It's a bit like the felling process. It really felts it up. It gives it texture. It gives it lots of dimension. It makes it more interesting. If you're using sari silks with this or any bamboo fibres, it gives it a lot of beautiful shape and interest. And you just keep flapping it down like that. Pull it out. Keep turning it inside out. Keep flapping it down. And then when you're happy with that, you want to rinse it under the tap. Hot water, not too hot, but hot water, and keep throwing it. And the more you do that, the thicker that your flower will become. So once you've got your flower and you're happy with all the texture and you're happy with the overall shape of it, you rinse it in cold water, and then you leave it to dry. Now you can pop it on your radiator, you can pop it outside as long as it doesn't blow away. But here's a little trick for you. This is what I like to do, and I like to use an egg cup. And what I do is I pop my flower into the egg cup, I leave it to dry, and it just gives it some shape, makes it a bit more interesting rather than being totally flat. If you want to do smaller flowers, are quite nice left to be flat. And there's one I did, you just sort of see the shape. And then what you want to do is start your middle piece. So I've got 2 bits in there. So you start your middle piece so it will look like that, and you just cut it more. So when you do your petals, you just give them more cuts into the middle, and it makes it like that. And then you have your button, and you sew your button into the middle and put your brooch pin on the end, and voila, you have your flower.